back to this week's episode of the Hoggie Shuffle, where we get lost in the shuffle and live in the trenches. I'm Preston, we got Robbie as well, and as always, we're here to talk about the football part that actually decides the game, the line of scrimmage. We always talk about it, quarterbacks get the headlines, receivers get the highlights, but championships still built where the big guys line up. And today, we're going all in on the big men, back to the roots of the podcast. We're breaking down some of the top offensive line prospects in the upcoming NFL draft, including guys who could be protected quarterbacks on Sundays for the next decade.
Right.
Left tackles, right tackles, guard centers, the future of the trenches. We also have some fun today. We got some trench warfare where we're going to put up elite offensive linemen against elite defensive linemen and argue who wins the rep. We got we got to guess the lineman. It's a little trivia battle where we test how well we actually know the big men and who built this league. And we're going to talk about some major storylines developing in Philadelphia. We got Jordan Davis, getting re-signed, big contract. And there's some rumors swirling around. They might be considering moving Jalen Carter out. That'd be one of the biggest defensive line shakeups in the league if that happens. So We're going to break down whether that makes any sense at all. And before we get out of here today, we are also going to relive and talk about the moment and what his departure means for the Raiders. So settle in, buckle up, because today we're talking draft prospects, trench battles, defensive line drama, and one of the most respected pass rushers in football. Let's get lost in the shuffle.
Let's do it.
So before we move on, we need to talk about something. It could be one of the biggest defensive line storylines in the NFL, and that is the Philadelphia Eagles. Obviously, just re-signed Jordan Davis, locking up one of the biggest run stuff in defensive tackles. I mean, I've seen a lot of posts about this. I've seen a lot of comments. I don't know. He looked lean. He's looking like he's about 240, lean right now. Lost some weight, put some muscle on. He's looking pretty solid. So, having him out there, I think is going to be a big difference when he's not just going to be a third down defensive tackle. He could be a full, all three down, running through, stop in the middle. And what does that mean? Anytime a team commits the kind of money to one player, you can't pay everybody. That's the reality we know about this league with salary cap and things like that. So when you have a long-term investment tied to interior defensive linemen, the question then comes up is that what happens with Jalen Carter? Now let's be clear. Jalen Carter, one of the most disruptive interior defensive linemen in football, when he's right, explosive, first step, violent hand, ability to collapse the pocket from the inside.
You don't need two, though. You don't need two. You know what I mean? Like having a Jordan Davis, you're already lucky enough. And then to get a guy like Jalen Carter, those guys don't play side by side. They play one for another. You know what I mean?
But imagine, though.
Imagine.
You look at this, what if it hits? You know what I mean? What if how we can make it work, restructure some contracts, then you have two guys on the field at any point in time, nobody's running up the middle. They lock that shit down. They will disrupt any pass, any run, anything happening. It is going to be absolutely disruptive.
100%. I mean, a big part of it will be your locker room. I think you guys have a pretty good locker room, so you got guys that want to stay because you know that they're on a championship team right now. So, I mean, if you're Jalen Carter, you wouldn't be taking a little bit. And then that's the same as Jordan Davis. I know that you guys are looking for these giant contracts, but, I mean, I'm sure you could shave a few million just to stay with each other kind of thing, right? I mean, it would be gross. It would be a gross tandem.
Well, and you look at it, like, the Eagles have really built their identity with this defense and the defensive line especially. And if they're paying Jordan Davis and they have other young players develop on that line, at least it opens the conversation. Would Philadelphia consider moving it if the right trade came across? And I think that's a yes. I think they're actively shopping him right now, waiting for that right trade to come across. Do I know who it is? Not really sure. Obviously, you just lost Phillips on the edge as well, too.
Kobe Dean.
Kobe Dean's gone as well. So, I mean, they're going to have to make some moves on that defensive line. We've been really blessed in the draft the last 4 or 5 years and the guys that we've been picking. I really do trust in the process. I trust that Howie knows what he's doing and he can possibly get us in the right position again. But, I mean, we're losing guys left and right today. Blankenship's gone. Phillips gone. Kobe Dean's gone. Yeah, Blankenship signed to the Texans. That's pretty big. That's pretty big.
Whoa.
And so, I think that's pretty huge knowing that the Texans defense, I mean, you guys know as well, I've been hyping on those guys for a long time. It just gives you one more reason to be hyped on that defense. And I think that if they can get, like I said, if they can get their offense together, that's a really deadly team.
Ooh, that's nasty.
But then you ask yourself another question is what team is going to be willing to pay the price to have Jalen Carter? Because you got to look at the other side as well, too. I mean, he openly spit in a guy's face last year. And I love him. I love the Philly pride. I love everything that's about it. But you have a guy that's going to be disruptive on and off the field. There's some issues obviously had when he was at Georgia, some off-field stuff as well, too, that, a little aggressive, things like that. And the Eagles do have their one rule. Like, the Eagles have their golden rule as always, and they're very, very predominant about it, where there is the one thing the Eagles will never, ever, ever take a player on is violence against women. I stand with that very well. I think that's a really cool thing to go out and publicly say that, it doesn't matter if it's first strike, it doesn't matter what happened, it doesn't matter if you didn't get, fully done on it. If you've been accused, brought up in the same phrase that you are violent against women, you will never be on the Eagles' radar ever. They will never, ever, ever touch you. And I think that's so important as men to have standards like that and have those things put in place because you want to protect the women in this world.
100%. Sad that we even have to have this conversation.
It's true though. It's a very true thing, especially with these young men and the violence that comes with the sport.
100%.
Sometimes they bring that home and it gets a little crazy. And it's nice to know that a team that I follow and I support and love has those high standards, because I think that's such an important thing. And importantly, last question here on this one is you ask yourself, would the Eagles ever eventually break a defensive line that's been the backbone of their defense? And yes, you've seen that. You've seen that today with the amount of shopping out we're doing and looking through it. And again, you can't pay everybody. Unfortunately, the way the world works, you just can't pay everybody. You can restructure as much as you want and do these things, but these young men deserve to get paid. And so I'm glad they're going somewhere where they can pay them. I'm glad that, Phillips signed a 4-year deal with the Panthers, I think, for like $80 million. I think that's huge. These young men work their ass off and they deserve to make that money. Let's move on. Let's keep going. We'll keep talking about other stuff, but let's break it down. We got some top NFL offensive lineman recruits coming out of college. I'll let Rob start it out.
All right, first up, you know who we're going with. We're going with the guy that we watched last, Francis Magua. Excuse me, I don't want to butcher this. Mangua, Miami Hurricanes, 6'6", 315, good length, natural power. Now, this guy is a balanced tackle who can operate on both pass protection and the run game. I would say, very few mistakes coming out of him over the entire showcase season of 2025, showing consistency and strength from the point of attack. Now, here's his pros, guys. He's got a strong base, strong anchors, ass is big, mirrors defensive ends well, fits both zone gap schemes. Like, this guy looks like a starter day one for somebody in the NFL. He's big.
Sure.
He did not get whooped on in that national championship game. I tell you, he laid the boots. Like, they ran the crap out of the ball in Miami. I tell you what, you watch out for Francis. I bet you he goes in the top 5.
Next, we're going to throw out here is Spencer Fano of the Utah Utes. Now, fun fact for you guys at home, this guy's uncle and cousin actually both play in the NFL, or both played in the NFL. Uncle's retired now. Cousin, I believe he plays for the Denver Broncos. Pretty cool. Family's obviously very, very large Samoan monsters. They are some big boys. In traits, you look at one of the most polished athletic tackles in the class. He's got excellent footwork and technique. I mean, he grades very highly with pass sets, and he is considered a scheme versatile blocker. Just an absolute monster. You want to talk about his playing style? I mean, patient blocker who uses good leverage, strong leg drive, effective in both running and passing situations. So, I mean, that's a huge asset to have when you're looking for a NFL-ready offensive lineman. Pros, obviously very consistent, can handle elite edge rushing, might even switch inside in certain systems so you can play a little bit of guard. That's huge to have as well, too. Cons, you want to talk about cons? He's slightly lighter than some tackle prospects, so adding a little bit of weight, can help his long-term NFL frame. But at the end of the day, if that's the con, that's the one thing this guy's missing is a little bit of weight. I mean, there's so many nutritionists, so many people on staff that'll get him where he needs to get, man. He'll be laughing. So you look at draft range. I mean, he's going early first round. He's going to be a top 10 pick in the NFL draft, maybe top 15. I don't think you're going to see as offensive line heavy as a draft that we had in the previous 2 years, but I think it's still going to be very healthy, very strong, and you're really seeing these guys come into the league ready to go, ready to punch, ready to fight.
Well, I'll tell you, we're going to roll right into the exact opposite. Huge 6'7", 360 tackle with overwhelming size and strength, guys. Caden Proctor out of Alabama. This guy is huge. Massive run blocker. He can consistently sustain drives all the way down the field. His particularly power concepts are unreal. Pros, rare physical profile, potential franchise left tackle. This guy could go like anywhere in late second round, early second round, late third round. But again, he's a pretty big, pretty solid guy here. Techniques, his cons, his techniques and his stamina is a little, they're a little rusty. He needs to work on that stuff a little bit. But I tell you, this guy, you're going to watch him in a couple of years, you're going to say, oh, whoa, that guy's
absolute monster.
Beast. Right tackles.
Next, we got, I believe it is Caleb Lamu, Utah Utes. Again, so that's 2 from the Utah Utes we're talking about. Guy's an absolute monster. I mean, he's a smooth mover with natural balance, clean technique. Size-wise, I want to say he's, 6'6", 313. He's got a 33 and 3/8 arms. And he ran a 1.75 10-yard split at the draft. I mean, that's ridiculous. Quick feet, ability to mirror edge rushers, technically sound. I mean, his cons, he needs to continue adding fundamental strength and run blocking consistency. So you're looking early to mid rounds. I mean, they're talking probably in the second round, end of the first maybe. This is somebody you see that potentially could be a little bit higher. If it wasn't for some medical stuff going on, but I mean, absolute monster. I think he's going to do some great things. Some of the better tackles in this class look like they would have been better at guard in the NFL, and so that's a huge thing. You want to look at different stuff like that. I mean, I think this guy's a difference maker.
I totally agree with you. I think he's going to be an absolute monster going forward. But he's versatile. I think he could play guard or tackle, this guy. Next up, we got Jennings Dunker, Iowa Hawkeyes. Somebody messed this up and forgot to put all the stats in. So we got listed height 6'5", 319 pounds. Profile Iowa linemen are, they're known for being big, nasty, physical, mean muggers. Dunker's poised, strong hands, and anchored to the ground with that big old ass he's got. He's a solid fit at guard to start pretty much, he could probably be a day one starter in my eyes. He's got a great eye for the run scheme. He's a good pass blocker. He's just a little bit unathletic, I think. For his size, he should be a little bit better. Yeah, I just don't think he's got that foot speed to get outside, so most likely he'll be an interior guy in the NFL until he gets that foot speed up a little bit. Mid-rounds are saying. I bet you he's like a third-round lineman.
I could see that, maybe in second round. Next guy we got is Emmanuel Pregnon. Played Oregon Ducks last year. He was actually at SC before that, transfer portal out. I mean, that's a big name. I believe first college he went to was Wyoming a couple of years. So he's been in the NCAA for about 5-6 seasons even. I mean, he pushed through his time. I mean, that's pretty huge. He opted out of his freshman season due to obviously COVID, taken in 2020, redshirted 2021. A starting spot in Wyoming in 2022 and just kept working through there. He served as the team's starting guard through the year. USC, obviously, he transferred to them. First 2 seasons of the Trojans, he was the primary starting left guard. His performance during the 2024 season, he was named second team Big Conference. And then when he ripped into Oregon, that's when everything changed for him. He was first team All-American, first team Big Ten. Just an absolute monster. 6'4", 314 pounds. This guy is going to do work in the NFL. Powerful interior blocker with an effective first step and strong hand placement, good gap-based run blocker, versatile enough to play guard amongst multiple schemes. He still could be that tackle, could be that guard. You don't really know where he's going to be. I mean, he's not a top-tier athlete, but his strength and his playing toughness really transmitted immediately. They're saying probably mid-rounds, that kind of second or third round. Again, like I said, this isn't going to be as heavy as a first-round offensive line you've seen last year. It just really isn't. That's the truth of the matter. There's a lot of better skill position players this year than there has been in the previous 2 years, so I think those guys are definitely going to get some picks in there as well. But don't leave our big boys out because they're coming in hungry, they're coming in hot, and they're coming in ready to play football. Next, we're going to roll into some guards.
We're going to hit some guards up. This next one, don't get on me for pronouncing this right. I believe it's Oliavega Loan, Penn State Natty Lions. Now, I tell you, this is another big Polynesian Samoan big guy. Many analysts consider him to be the best guard in the 26 draft class. He's 6'4", 330, strength coming out the yin-yang, and a nasty run block. You pull up some of these guys' inside videos, you watch him run a trap. Oh boy, you better watch out. Generates displacement, anchor, leverage, excels in gap concepts. So he is double teaming, triple teaming. He's good to go. Again, this guy's going to go early second round. Be excited. This guy's going to be a great football player.
Absolute monster. Absolute monster. Next roll, and then we got Caden Green, Missouri Tigers. Previously played for, I believe it was Oklahoma Sooners, had the transfer portal out, he was gone. I think he only played about 5 starts for the Oklahoma Sooners, and then obviously went to Missouri, was first team all SEC, in 2025, 6'5", 324 pounds. This is a man amongst boys. This is a big dog. He played college tackle and then really projected his strengths inside. Good length and power. He can play guard or tackle. His pad level and some technique nuances are still developing, but I think this dude's going to do good things. He's going to be really pushed in the NFL. And again, we're going to keep talking about him. We're going to find these guys, find more info as the draft progresses to get closer and closer and closer, and really keep pushing. Probably mid-round on this guy here, this gentleman. And we'll see what happens from there.
All right. I like talking about the smaller alignments. Sometimes they're a little bit easier. They don't draw as much things. Brian Parker, the second, Duke Blue Devils. Now, he was on that crazy Duke team from last year. He's a redshirt junior last year, 6'5". I want to say he weighs right around that 315, 320 mark. Excuse me. Skill set, he's a very experienced blocker with very strong fundamentals, quick hands, and he's got, good burst off the line of scrimmage. He's very versatile to play multiple spots. We could flip him around center, guard, right guard. Cons, he's not that big, and just like the guy from last year, they're saying he doesn't have very long arms to play. So primarily guard. Mid to late rounds, 5'6", somewhere in there. I think he'll be a practice squad player for a little bit, but who knows?
Next, rolling in to a solid Florida boy, and that's Jake Slaughter. Very technically sound. I mean, he's rated out of Florida, Trinity Catholic High School. He was a 3-star recruit coming out of high school. He did not hit the transfer portal. This is the crazy part. Played all his seasons at Florida. He was first team All-American 2024, second team All-American 25, and first team All-SEC both years he played. By the time he was in 2024, this guy was a straight starter for the Gators, became a team captain, and he was very integral to their turnaround when they went from 4-5 to 8-5, allowing only one single sack on a quarterback over 800 snaps. I mean, he made the decision to return to Florida for his final year of eligibility, leading the drive for the Gators offensive line to return to the program ahead of the 25 season. He was named the best returning offensive player in the SEC by PFF. He was also named the preseason All-American watch list and Outland Trophy watch list. This guy's an absolute dog. It's something to say when a guy doesn't hit that transfer portal. When he stays in, it's not about the money for this young man. It's about the playing football. It's about the teamwork and the camaraderie. Strong fundamentals in both the run and pass block. It's very rare among centers. He's a smart processing of defenses, very high football IQ. He has great mirror traits. I mean, his cons needs to maintain a little strength against those bigger nose tackles, but I mean, that comes with time. You don't need to be the biggest dog to be the center. You have to be the smartest dog. And that's what it comes down to. They're saying mid-round draft, second, third round, we're going to see him get pulled. But again, like I said, you don't need to be the biggest dog. And, my guy Jason Kelsey proves that every day of the week when he was playing, that you can be successful as long as you have the brain out there to do it as a center.
100%. All right, next up we got Parker Brailsford, Alabama Crimson Tide. Big dude again. What do we got? Excuse me. Center. He was age 24 and a half. Excuse me, I just can't see my stats for some reason. 6'2". Ooh, he's a little bit lighter in the butt. He's only 289. He's a center. It's okay. When Parker stepped into Alabama's campus last spring, he carried the weight of expectations to come. His path to Brailsford's path to promise. I'm just going to start that. Okay, ready? Parker Brailsford, Alabama Crimson Tide, weighing in at 289 pounds, 6'2" junior out of Mesa, Arizona. Slightly smaller at center, but very quick, very twitchy, excellent movement, helps in zone schemes. The thing is, he might struggle against, heavy interior bull rushes, but I mean, let's be honest, the NFL is going to bring it. You got a guy like Jason Kelsey that can do it. I don't imagine he was 280 pounds when he got drafted. He was a pretty tiny little guy.
Oh, yeah.
Again, a lot of these guys, like you said, Press, they're going to be later round drafts. But I think we got a lot of developmental players this year. I don't think we'll get to talk about as many guys as we did like last year, but it's going to be pretty good.
And the last guy we're going to talk about tonight is going to be Connor Liu of the Auburn Tigers. He's about 6'3". I believe he's about, I think it was I had that lined up 290. I want to say 6'3", 290.
That's not too bad.
Yeah, 293. So again, not outrageously small, still a decent size. He's very wide, low base with good leverage, consistent in zone-centric offenses. He got excellent mobility and an agile handling of stunts and twists. Again, con is a size disadvantage against the biggest defenders, but again, that's something you can really you can beef up. And again, you don't need to be the biggest guy as a center. You really don't. You're going to get doubles. You're going to be able to work that offense and that zone push. You know, again, they're saying mid-rounds because the fact, like I said, this is just a very moderate offensive line coming out this year. There's going to be a lot of dogs. Yeah, we're going to talk about these guys all season. I want to talk about these guys the whole offseason. Make sure we know about them. Make sure we talk about them. Build that promise up, just like we did last year with those guys, and really explain that this game is built in the trenches.
Right, so next week, me and Press are each going to pick one guy. We're going to go do an exclusive on him. We're going to get you some background history. We're going to get you some, what's going on, which teams we think are going to pick him out. We're going to let you know.
Love it. Then we got a game coming up. Let's do it. We got Trench Warfare.
Trench Warfare. Okay, guys, so how it works is the host, which is me for this one. We'll switch back and forth, so Preston will be the host too. We'll present a matchup. Co-host must pick who wins the rep. So I'll go first.
Now, question about this game. I just want to make sure. Is this current right now, or is this in their primes?
This is always prime versus prime.
Okay. I just want to make sure.
We're prime versus prime. You're gonna say a guy like Lawrence Taylor versus a guy like Jim Otto. Like, come on, it's prime versus prime. Okay, so bonus points if you can explain why strength, technique, and scheme will make it fit. All right, this one I'm going to start you off hard. This one's going to be a ball buster. You got Trent Williams, Myles Garrett, prime versus prime.
Prime, this is really tough because you have two of the best to ever do it at these spots. They're both probably top 5 all times in their respective positions, maybe even top 3 all time in their respective positions. I mean, you have two absolute greats in this scenario. I don't think it's easy as saying in a 1-rep scenario who's going to win because they're always going to play more than 1 rep. They're always going to keep driving. Truly speaking, as an offensive line guy, I don't think there's anyone ever been meaner than Trent Williams. And I know that I've been on here saying that I do think that Myles Garrett is probably the best defensive end of all time. I really do believe that. I think he's an absolute monster. But I think if you're asking me to bet my life on 1 rep only, and seeing a matchup of 1-on-1, there's no world where I'm not taking prime Trent Williams in 1 rep. I'm sorry. I just think that if you're given one shot, one opportunity on this, I think Trent Williams takes it. I think he has the absolute power when it comes down to it. His ability to come off the line of scrimmage, hit Myles with that club. And, Myles is probably going to get some. If you were asking a 10-rep scenario, it's probably a 60-40. Truly, I do think that. But in a 1-on-1, 1 rep's all you get, I'm taking Trent Williams, and I'm cashing everything to the bank.
Good answer.
You want me to do 2, and then we'll go back and forth, or you doing all 5? That's me.
No, because the other game's going to be all you.
Okay, I like it.
No, like the other game, we'll just go half and half on this one. So I'll
Okay.
You. Yeah.
Okay. This one I actually prefer not to answer because I think I'd be a little too biased, so this works better for me anyways. I'm going to go with Lane Johnson versus Micah Parsons. Prime versus prime. Who do you taking and why?
Well, the nice part about this is we virtually got to see that scenario almost play out. Like Micah Parsons.
Well, we did get to see it. I mean, there was multiple games you got to see this.
Right, but what I'm saying is prime versus prime. Lane Johnson 3 years ago was probably in the best shape of his career. He probably will never succumb to more than what he was. And that's the same as Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons is a great player, but he has almost reached the peak of what he is going to be. I believe. That's my belief. And so in my belief of who would win this battle for an entire game long, we're probably sitting on a 70-30. Micah Parsons is a fantastic football player. Absolutely fantastic. He is one of the best sack experts in the game. Lane Johnson's also right there to be one of the guys with the best PFF of all time. His pass blocking is second to nobody in NFL history. Some of the things and the blocks and the way that offensive line was allowed to play against the rest of the NFL as a team and as a unit, which is the coolest thing I ever got to see as an offensive lineman watching the NFL. I got to take Lane Johnson. Just in the sheer fact that he is just a nasty MF and he doesn't block for himself. He blocks for 5. And when you're blocking for 5, when you're blocking for 5, you are unstoppable. So in that case, I'm taking Lane Johnson over Micah Parsons. At least 7 times out of 6. At least 7 out of 10.
I like it.
All right, this one's a doozy.
I know it is. I know it is.
It could lean a little way. We got Colts, Quentin Nelson versus Chiefs, Chris Johnson. Prime versus prime.
Again, these aren't easy conversations to have. These are tough matchups, man. And again, you're asking me for a 1 rep, 1 only. And this is the first time I'm going to flip the coin. As good as I think Quentin Nelson is and was, and as a monster, I mean, prime Chris Jones was a different animal, man. He was absolutely disruptive. He made offensive line have to double and triple this guy. I mean, you're coming interior. This is a tackle versus a guard scenario. And I'm taking Chris Jones in that 1 rep. I truly am. I think just the power and explosion this guy has, especially in his prime, was absolutely wild. It was something that, you only see once in every 10 years out of a guy. And I think that Chris Jones absolutely has the interior dominance on this, and he takes this rep 100%.
100%. Totally agree with you.
And this next one, again, this is a tough one. You're asking you very good guys here, but you're going to rotate against Penei Sewell versus Nick Bosa, 1 rep only. Who takes it?
Well, I'll put it to you this way. It sucked that Penei Sewell got hurt so quick.
Oh,
this
man.
Season. You know what I mean? Like, we
Such
both
a
said,
monster.
And we both said most likely that was the dude getting the Protector Award this year.
I thought so.
Like, right? And then on the other hand, you got Nick Bosa, who when he was on the Chargers and he was a rookie, oh boy, was he mean. He was everywhere. But I tell you this without a certainty. Penei Sewell, I don't even need to have a deep conversation about this one. Penei Sewell is a legendary generational tackle. He's a 20-year dominant type of dude, and Nick Bosa's already sliding down the ranks of not even being a top guy anymore. And that's just my opinion. That's just how I see it.
This is prime versus prime, though. This isn't one this is prime.
100%. Prime versus prime. But again, they're right on the same keel. They're in the same wheelhouse. And right now, I'd say his prime was probably about 4 years ago. Penei Sewell's prime is probably about right now, maybe last year. That being said, I think 9 out of 10 reps, Penei Sewell beats Nick Bosa. And he beats him good. I also hate Nick Bosa, so this is a little bit biased because Nick Bosa could be licking them cheeks.
I agree to a point. I don't think it's that many reps Nick Bosa loses. He is an absolute monster.
I hate him. Hate's a strong word. I hate the Chargers.
Yeah.
All right. Last up. This one is a doozy. You got Tyron Smith, arguably one of the greatest tackles of all time. One of the meanest tackles of all time versus T.J. Watt.
T.J. Watt, 10 reps out of 10, and he's destroying him in that first rep. Again, Tyron Smith was an absolute monster, and this isn't even me just hating on the Cowboys. This is me. The reality of this scenario is that
real. It's real.
T.J. Watt is up there with Myles Garrett level, man. He is an absolute monster. When he is hot and when he's not injured, when he's coming off like that, man, he is very, very, very hard man to stop. And you need a guy like Trent Williams to stop a TJ Watt. And I don't think Tyron Smith's that guy. If it's like the first question, you're asking me to put my house on it and put everything on it and bet the house, bet everything for 1 rep only. I'm taking TJ Watt with the quick rip and inside move, and he is going to absolutely roast Tyron Smith.
I concur with you on that one. Again, prime TJ Watt was just
a different animal, man. It was insane.
A lot of people wouldn't say this, but on prime TJ Watt, I'd take over a JJ Watt.
I would. Honestly, and that's nothing to say against JJ Watt. It's a very different playing style. It's you got a guy that he didn't have the power like his brother. He had the speed and skill that just made him different. And that's where I think he can really be aggressive on that edge. And again, he's more of a DN linebacker role. He's not just a pure DN like his brother was. That gives him that extra speed to get low and scoop, man. And it's just, like I said, I take TJ Watt on that, and that's me being, I don't want to say biased against the Cowboys, because Tyron Smith, when they had that Cowboys offensive line in the mid-210s, man, with him and Zach Martin out there, I mean, they had some absolute monsters, and they were really, really good. They just never could get it done because they never had the pieces in play and the ownership to do it. And, going back to what Tyron Smith could do, he was an absolute monster. But again, TJ Watt, I'm taking him. It's 100%.
All right, which brings us to our next game. Guess that lineman. I'm just going to push pause on the first question. I don't know why this question got lumped right in there, but I'm just going to say it out loud. You get extra. You just get credit for this one because it's
I already can tell you who it is by seeing it.
three-time Defensive Player of the Year, plays for the Steelers. Younger brother also plays in the NFL.
Well, I think you mean older brother played in the NFL.
Yeah, sorry. Older brother played in the NFL. Sorry, brother.
I can already tell who it's going to be. There's only one 3-time Defensive Player of the Year that's still in the NFL playing for the Steelers, and that's Mr. TJ Watt.
That is correct. Ding, 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 ding. All right. Player number 2. Hall of Fame tackle, famous for pancake blocks. Played most of his career with the Cowboys.
Now, we already talked about Tyron Smith, so I don't think that's who this is. I think you're talking Hall of Famer, monster. I feel like this is maybe someone that could bench 700 pounds. Am I getting on the right frame there?
It's smelling pretty good.
I'm going with Larry Allen.
Correct.
I'll never forget that Larry Allen game where he's Cowboys throw a pick, man, against the Tampa Bay, and it is just absolutely disgusting when he chases that guy down for that tackle.
Oh, absolutely disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. All right. Known for his brothers' rivalry, defensive end for the Chargers, Defensive Player of the Year winner.
And see, this goes back to what we were talking about earlier. I think you might have a confusion going on here, because I want to say this is Joey Bosa.
You're very correct. My question guy is going to be getting kicked in the balls when I see him. Okay, you're 3 for 3. Hopefully this next one gets you. I'm seriously going to kill the guy that made this, though. He's an idiot. He's an absolute idiot. Okay, number 4. Dominant guard. Plays for the Colts. Known for angry run blocking. Remember, these were easy.
I feel like we talked about this guy. I feel like there's only so many, right? So this has got to be Quentin. This has got to be Quentin Nelson. I mean, you got to watch this guy when he was at Notre Dame. You got to see him before he got drafted. I think this is someone that's absolutely ridiculous. Again, great player. Great player.
I just set this one up for easy for you this week because next week it's going to be tough for him.
I like it.
All right. This next one, former Defensive Player of the Year. Okay. Rams legend, retired earlier than expected. But to be fair, I didn't read the whole game properly. You get 3 points for the first clue, 2 points.
Well, again, if it was harder, I'd be asking for clues more.
Exactly.
This one, I do agree in the sense that he retired a little bit earlier than expected, but I mean, he had a great career. He played great, man. He was an absolute dog. He got a chip. I mean, that's huge. He got paid. It's going to be Aaron Donald. It's going to be, in my opinion, probably one of the best interior defensive linemen of all time.
All right, so we got 5 for 5. Next week, we're going to do this a little different. Next week, he's going to do one. I'm going to do one. And then we're going to.
It's going to be a little bit harder. Let's throw some deep cuts in there. I want to have some.
We're going to go some crazies.
I want to have some deep cuts in there.
I'll make both games, but I won't look at the answers. Just kidding.
Now, the next game we're going to throw into, we're finally going to take a little bit of a break from just the pure gridiron dogs in the trenches. We're going to throw into some quarterbacks, it looks like. We got game 1, bench 1, start 1, cut 1, peak dual threat quarterbacks. I'm going to question you out first, and then we can just go back and forth on this one. This is a fun one because we can each kind of choose our own opinions here.
This one is good because I know who's going in the garbage can.
I wish that one player wasn't on here. We could have switched it with everyone, but that's okay. We're going to roll into it next time about this, just because I know how this is going to go. You're going to talk peak dual threat quarterbacks. So this one's going to surprise a lot of people with my pick. Our options are Lamar, Cam, and Michael Vick. And most people, seeing an Eagles fan, they're going to think instantly, I'm just going to go with Mr. Dogfight and Michael Vick. Not true. I think Lamar Jackson being an MVP supersedes that. I think that him being an absolute dog takes the starting role for me.
Yep.
I think then you put Vic on the bench because Vic was unreal. He was electric when he played for the Falcons. I mean, he was something different. But he changed the way the position was viewed as a dual threat quarterback. And then obviously Cam Newton's on the bench. Or sorry, Cam Newton's cut.
He's in the garbage can.
He's in the garbage. He didn't jump on the ball.
I got to flip it on you. I got to experience Michael Vick mania. It was the craziest time in the NFL. It was the wildest time in the NFL. It was the first time that the NFL game was so broken since Bo Jackson, man. It was crazy. You couldn't run. You couldn't tackle Michael Vick. But he's an idiot. He was fighting dogs. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about who would you put up first. I got Mike Vick all day. I got my guy Lamar Jackson, proven, pretty good, MVP. But I got no time for you, Cam Newton. I got no time for you.
And I will go back to saying this.
You know why, Cam? You know why, Cam? Because you're not a game changer. You're just a game manager.
My big reason why, back on my Lamar versus Vic situation here, is the fact that Vic could do two things really, really amazingly. He could run like a son of a bitch, and he could huck a deep ball like you never seen before. Mm-hmm. When it came to the pocket presence of being a quarterback, that's where I think Lamar has the edge. I think he can throw those little short passes just a hair better. I think he's got that in his arsenal just a bit better. And his run game is, I would say his run game is maybe not as fast, but his lateral quickness is on par with what Vic could do. So that's where I get my push for Lamar. I just think it's unreal. And again, but it's different because you got to watch Mike Vick. I got to watch Mike Vick on the Eagles. You know what I mean? You got to watch Mike Vick and the Falcons. It's two different players, completely two different players. Mike Vick on the Eagles was good. Mike Vick on the Falcons was great.
I would say that Michael Vick didn't have as much patience as Lamar Jackson had.
That's what I mean, the pocket presence as a quarterback. You know what I mean?
He could have had the patience of Lamar Jackson, and his patience aren't great either. But if he could have had just a little more patience, because his deep ball was unmatched. He could
it was ridiculous.
With anybody in the league, and his pass across the middle was great. He didn't have a great touch pass.
Even on the Eagles, man, his deep balls, Deshaun Jackson, it's still one of the best of all time. It's still, Deshaun still has the record for most receptions caught over 60 yards, and it's absolutely ridiculous. And you want to go to the question of this whole part is, who's the most unstoppable at their peak? I will 100% bow and agree that Mike Vick in his peak was definitely the most unstoppable quarterback as a dual threat quarterback the NFL's ever seen.
100%.
100%.
All right, next we got game 2. System QB or superstar?
This one's kind of gross, I'm not going to lie to you. I hate every one of these picks.
Especially since one's been cut. We got Brock Purdy, Tua, and Dak Prescott. And again, you know what I mean? Like, we don't have a lot of quarterbacks and picks to put in these games where you could have these conversations with. Because
this one hurts my soul.
You either have a good superstar quarterback or you have a system quarterback. And now, you got Brock Purdy. He is not a superstar in any way, shape, or form. He is a system quarterback.
But the game is start one, bench one, cut one. Who do you got?
Yeah, this one's easy for me. Just because I don't like two of the latter, I'm going Brock Purdy. I'm starting him because he's my system guy. I'm benching Dak, and sorry, Tua, but you're a little too veggie for me, buddy.
And see, this is where I take the turn a little bit. And again, as the Eagles fan, this is the part that's crazy for me. This is the part that hurts my soul is that, you want to talk about who I think in a prime situation with the best athletes could be the greatest in this scenario. I'm starting Dak Prescott. I think Dak, when he's go time mode and he has the threats around him and the proper coach and proper offense, I mean, he is one of the best quarterbacks in the league. And I know I've shut on him a lot. I truly have. But I think when it comes down to it, he is truly a good quarterback. And then, especially when you look at this list of these three guys, there's no way in my mind I wouldn't start Dak. I think Tua, again, I think he's had some great games in his career, but he's also had some such big lows that there's just no way I'd take him over Brock Purdy. So that's why Brock Purdy's on the bench. I mean, he took his team to a Super Bowl, right? I mean, that's huge. Again, as a system quarterback, though, I think that you could put any quarterback in that position, that system, the Sam Darnolds of the world, all those kind of guys, the Drake Mays, and they would excel in that system as well. So yeah, I'm going Dak, I'm going Purdy, and I'm cutting Tua just because of the fact that Tua's eating Oreos with a ladle out of the Oreos. Like it's just bad, man. It's brutal. And you can see it's even affected me. And think about how many hits he took over me. It's wild.
Okay, game 3. I'm just going to switch it up a little bit. It's going to be a little different.
I like this one. See, I like this one.
Villains of the NFL. Okay. Start one, bench one, cut one. We got Ndamukong Suh, step on your body, rip your leg apart.
Well, he took Aaron Rodgers and said, fuck you.
We got Vontez Burfict, close your eyes, and he's coming at you. And we got James Harrison. If you don't see him coming, you are leaving on a stretcher.
Now, I will say this. As much as all three of these guys hit, Vontez Burfict absolutely took one who could have been one of the best receivers in NFL history and ruined his whole life.
Forever.
Forever. Changed that dude's brain. So if I'm going here first, we're talking about villains. We're talking about people that are, evil. We're talking about these guys that just ripped your heart out in a football game. I mean, James Harrison starting for me. 100%. You take a 99-yard pick six back in the Super Bowl. Oh, yeah. You're my guy.
Undrafted, 100%. Baby. Undrafted.
You ever seen videos of that dude working out? He's in a full sweatsuit, fucking drenched down. He's doing his incline bench press, and it is ridiculous.
He was Aaron Donald before Aaron Donald.
My number 2 guy, this is a tough one because I think both these guys were very good. But I think if you're talking about actual production and what they competed with and what they did, I'm going to probably bench Vontez Burfict and cut Ndamukong Suh. And that's nothing against Ndamukong Suh. I think when he was on the Lions, he was an absolute force to be reckoned with. And fun fact for you people at home, if you don't know this, he's actually a full engineer. Like he went to school and completed his full engineering degree, so he had a fallback if the NFL didn't work out 100% in his early contract years.
Pretty sure he's got a doctorate now.
Could even have a doctorate now. He's retired and stuff. Very, very smart man. Very, very smart man. But he's probably one of, if not the... And again, this is the same with Vontez Burfict on here. He had one bad hit in his career that was disgusting, and they got him back for it. I'll tell you what, if you ever watch those highlights, they got him back for it. But Ndamukong Suh is probably the dirtiest player that's played in the modern era.
I'm going to have to switch it up on you. Definitely James Harrison, legend. But Vontez Burfict for me was just, he's the guy that made football change, man.
That's how big his hits were.
It was guys like, but they weren't big hits. They were just dirty hits.
They weren't dirty back then though. That was you know what I mean?
Well, no. But that's what I'm saying. When I'm talking Vontez Burfict, I'm talking danger zone. No matter what, didn't matter what area you played in. You still couldn't lead and clean somebody out with your helmet.
No, for sure.
The other helmet, right? So
he was getting suspended for those.
Easily, he was the worst violator of a helmet-to-helmet hits the NFL has ever seen. Again, so I wouldn't even call some of his plays big plays. He just made some really bonehead plays, which cost a lot of guys' careers, not just his own. So for that reason, he's cut, and I'm putting Suh on the bench. And that's pretty much all I know. All right, number 4. If you needed 1 sack, now remember the rules. If you needed 1 sack, we're going for the GOATs. We're going for the biggest, baddest guys of all time. You got Aaron Donald in the Super Bowl. You need 1 sack. You got your Philadelphia Eagles, Reggie White.
And Packers.
Or you got the GOAT, Lawrence Taylor.
You go first.
Well, this depends on crack or no crack. So if we can go
We're
with
taking crack.
If we got crack. I mean, we never got to see the other 2 on crack, but I'll tell you, when this mother trucker was on crack, there was nobody blocking him.
No,
he's the reason that we have the word sack. He created the stat because they couldn't figure out how many times this guy was tackling him. Unstoppable, got his Super Bowl. Lawrence Taylor, number 1. I'm sorry, Aaron Donald, you were generational, but you were no Reggie White. You didn't create your own super moves. You didn't do what Reggie White did, and I only say this because Reggie White played the entirety of his career. I want to say he played at least 17 seasons, and he was absolutely dominant for every one of those seasons. Therefore, Aaron Donald, you're on.
See, this is where we're going to differ. And again, guys, you might throw me over the coals just from being the Eagles fan, being the diehard, but I'm taking the crackhead. That's just a guarantee. There's no way I'm not. Lawrence Taylor was an absolute monster. And I think that, no one has ever been able to replicate what he's done since. And it could be the crack. It could be. Don't get me wrong. But fun fact for you. Did you know before he was drafted, he was actually listed as one of the cleanest players going into the NFL. And within 2 years, he was hooked on coke. And year 3, he was a full-blown crackhead.
And addicted to hookers. Don't forget that, Giants fans. Yes. Addicted to hookers.
I'll tell you this, though. There was one game where he played where he was, they found him in a hotel floor, completely wasted, came out. I want to say he dropped 4 sacks that game. So, of course, I'm taking Lawrence Taylor. That's just a guarantee. This is where it changes, man. I don't think that anyone has been as dominant in the last 30 years is a guy like Aaron Donald, man. I know Reggie White was an absolute monster. He was probably one of the greatest defensive ends of all time, and I agree with that. But I just think that if I needed a sack and game was on the line, and if I was choosing somebody, I'm taking AD I just have to. I have to take him as the bench guy. I need it. And it kills me to say it. It kills me to put Reggie on the cut, but I'm taking LT, I'm taking AD, and I'm cutting Reggie.
That's fair enough. That's why we all get our own opinions. Doesn't matter who's right. Doesn't matter who's wrong. You guys make the call. All right. Last game, game 5. You got one play to win the Super Bowl. You're on the 1-yard line. Who are you giving the ball to? Start one, bench one, cut one. We got the beast mode, Marshawn Lynch. You got the freight train, Derrick Henry. And you got the elusive Christian McCaffrey.
Now, I know what everybody's thinking at home right now. Do you make that call? Do you do it? If I was a coach, you already had a guy that just rushed you down the field. Are you passing on the 1-yard line, or are you running the ball and win the Super Bowl, right? I think that there's 3 guys on this list. One of these guys is a game-changing running back in a lot of different ways, but I don't think he was a pure up-the-middle running back 1 yard to win the Super Bowl kind of guy. That's Christian McCaffrey. So instantly cut. I'm sorry. Probably in the top of these 3 guys, he's definitely 2 overall. We're talking 1 yard to win the Super Bowl, right? I can't take Christian McCaffrey for that, right? And then you got 2 more guys. You got Marshawn Lynch and Derrick Henry. And this one's such a coin toss because Derrick Henry has obviously had a longer career, legendary career. But Marshawn Lynch, when he was in his prime, I mean, God damn, that dude would drop the shoulder. He'd hit that side cut and keep going. But I think if it comes down to it, and I need 1 yard, I don't know who we're playing against, I got to take Derrick Henry. I think at 6'2", 220, 230, he's just too big. There's just, you know what I mean? And I think that Marshawn, if he ever had the opportunity and he got that touchdown to win the Super Bowl, maybe my conversation would be different. Maybe it would be different. But I think that there's just no world I don't take Derrick Henry as my starter and bench Marshawn and cut Christian McCaffrey.
Understandable. Now, I tell you, I've been watching this football thing a little bit differently in the past couple of years and watching what plays work on the goal line and what plays don't work on the goal line. And let's be honest, the play that works the best on the goal line is just 5 fat guys pushing and everybody else in the whole team pushing the quarterback into the end zone.
It does work. It does work. Right? We've seen it statistically, 92%.
Now, that being said, we have watched Marshawn Lynch get busted up on the goal line a lot, and we've watched Derrick Henry get looked foolish on the goal line. But there's one of these guys on the list that somehow seems to get that fucking 1 yard every single time. And for that case, I'm taking Christian McCaffrey because he is the most elusive guy out there. And if I need one play, I got to know that I got the guy that's given everything he's got to do it with the advantages he has. Now, we know that the other 2 guys are coming straight downhill. Maybe a cutback, but with 1 yard, probably not a cutback. And for that reason, I got Marshawn Lynch on my bench. Sorry, Derek, love you. And I got Christian McCaffrey, number 1.
Let you have it. I'm going to say wild take, but I'm going to let you have it. It's your take.
It's a real
I just
thing.
think at 6'2", 220, 230, you're not running a scat play where you're passing to your running back.
I'm not saying, it doesn't say, it said one play.
1 yard.
One play.
With 1 yard, you're diving that ball every fucking time. You're 1 yard. Shit, I'd even put Derrick Henry at quarterback, run a goddamn quarterback sneak with him out there. I'd run the tush push with Derrick Henry at quarterback and just drive him up the middle. I mean, he is just ridiculous, but that's okay. We all get our opinions, we all get our facts, we all get everything. What are we going to do? Well, guys, that was the episode of the Hoggie Shuffle. We talked about the next generation offensive line coming to the NFL. We talked about guys who are going to be protecting quarterbacks and setting the tone, running the game for the next 10 years. We battled through some tough trench warfare. We learned very quickly when you start comparing the best linemen in football, there are no easy answers. And we've seen that in live action. It was pretty crazy. We tested our knowledge with Guess the Lineman. It's going to be a little harder next week. It was pretty solid. We always talked about the Jalen Carter situation, whether the Eagles would ever consider making a move that big on the defensive line, which possibly, right? Possibly. That's the kind of football that we respect on the show. Because at the end of the day, the trenches decide everything. We appreciate everybody who continues to listen and support the show and watch us. Obviously, trying to make this happen every week as much as we can. Got some busy lives going on, too. Remember,
Justin,
football fans, watch the ball, but real ones, watch the line. We'll see you next time. And as always, stay square.
Stay nasty.
See you next week.
Peace.